Can I ask you this? Is Conjuice Mucky Juice a real juice? Or if not, I'm going to make it. Because that's my...
Mucky Juice.
All right. Welcome to episode 3 of season 2. We've really hit the ground running this year. I said it at the end of 2017. It was going to be a big year. This episode in particular, I thought it in my head. I didn't say it out loud, but I had a strong feeling it was going to happen this year. It's one of my personal favorite artists of all time. And even though he's new to the scene, I still love this guy. I love his music. I finally got to meet him today, but we're going to really get into it. We got to welcome superstar G.SIDHU to the table. Everybody make some noise.
Make some noise.
What up? What up? What up?
If you don't know who G.SIDHU is, just turn off the channel right now because you don't deserve to be watching.
No, leave the channel on.
Yeah, right. You're gonna get to know. G.SIDHU, welcome to Toronto. This is almost become like a second home for you. You're out here quite a bit now. What brings you out here for this visit, other than the podcast?
It is the podcast, man.
Oh,
I had to come down for you guys. We've been listening to you guys since your first episode. Me and my boy Pinder, my manager, he introduced me to the podcast. He's like, yo, you should listen to this thing. These guys are talking some good stuff in here. And yeah, every episode and the last one as well. Yeah, killing it.
Everybody says the last
no comment.
That's just pure love and coming down just for the episode.
You know, we got to thank our hosts for today's Cineverse. They were in their studio. They really helped us out today with shooting in this. And of course, we got shot by Dolo. The whole team's here. So it's a collective effort. And the fact that you guys show so much love and, you know, somebody at your status who actually listens to this podcast, that's a huge deal for us. So we really appreciate that.
Definitely. And it's good to see put faces to the voices too. With the last episode especially, I was like, okay, now I know how this guy looks like. Especially I haven't met you before. KSR, eventually I got to meet you guys, but yeah, definitely
nice.
Liking this video vibe.
If you keep coming, we're going to get you a Leaf jersey too, man. We're going to make you an ultimate fan as well. Mani, you mentioned something about G.SIDHU that you noticed early on in his career,
Yeah,
right?
so I want to just jump right into it. I want to start off with your name because I've been following your career since, well, when you started basically. So I remember the first time I ever heard of you, it was Gurkaval Sidhu, and then I seen the transition to G.SIDHU. So I want to just know what happened, why from Gurkaval to G.SIDHU, why'd you shorten it, what happened?
So initially, I was considering G.SIDHU to begin with, but then my family told me I should keep my family name. They gave me Gurkaval. The reason I changed it was the first one was that I'm also a practicing physician. So there was one of the lectures that came up with how social media impacts doctors and how patients search you up. I'm like, oh damn, I don't want them to like search my name and I'm like my singing videos come up first rather than my other thing. So that was the main turning point that made me like consider like I think I should have it completely different. It's still not completely different, but still different. Yeah. And second one was that I think it was more catchier, more easy to. Gurkaval is hard to just remember. Like Gurkaval Sidhu is like hard to remember. G.SIDHU is like easier
honestly,
to remember.
when I first heard about you, was that they'd been a track, and people were like, "Oh, who's the singer?" And I couldn't remember the end of the first. I was like, "Grrr, something."
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we spoke about that before on the show. It's just, I mean, everybody in this room's probably dealt with it coming up with our Punjabi names. They're not the easiest to pronounce, especially living out here. But the fact that we stick to our roots and you still kept at least the Sidhu in there, that's awesome. And it vibes too, right? I mean, it's a little bit different. It works, definitely.
Once they say "girl," you know that's you.
G.SIDHU, we got to ask you, all right, so you were born in India this is what I know. You're born in India, you lived in New York, and now you're based out of Michigan. Tell me about how this whole journey comes and how you're traveling throughout the States and how that story came about.
Sure, I'll try to simplify it. So 6 months old, born in India, 6 months old, I come to New York. My dad, he came here in 70s. He had the family come down. Then he wanted me to go back to India, Gorana Banaje. So I had to go back. Then I used to come here during vacations because my parents still lived here. So I started high school officially here, and then I went in New York. New York, okay. Then I went to Caribbeans for a year and a half for med school. Then because of my residency, I had to come to Michigan. Lots of traveling.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
crazy.
we spoke about this. Actually, JJ's told me about it before that you're a doctor. That's very impressive. I mean, you don't get too many singers that become doctors. Like, what was that like? Was it doctor first, then singer first, or how did that come about?
Singing first because I was a little kid. I was always wanted to sing. Doctor, gotta say it, your parents, right? Dr. Marna. And my dad had a huge influence because he got me emotional in terms of, see, the IS-70s, the way how they came illegally through forests and shit. Like, my only dream is to make you a doctor. And then that kind of got me. I was like, okay, I'll do it. Then eventually, unfortunately, I ended up picking a field which I really, really enjoy, psychiatry. And that was something I could really connect with, and I think it helped me musically as well in terms of connecting with the audience lyrically, what touches them. So I think it ended up working out pretty well, but now it's kind of getting to the point like, okay, how do I balance them both?
And so with the balancing, like between family and music, like you travel a lot. So how does that balance work out for you? Like, do you feel like is it something that you still feel like you're passionate about doing, you want to keep doing every weekend, even though it impacts, being with family every weekend?
First of all, you definitely need a supportive family.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's going to be a problem. You don't want to have that headache on you.
Yeah.
Secondly, I enjoy it. This is passion.
Yeah.
I'm not in this for money. So every weekend I'm enjoying it. I get to travel, meet amazing people like you guys.
Yeah.
And so it's to the point like I don't feel comfortable letting go of either medicine or that, but I'm finding ways to be creative in terms of how I can balance both and on long-term potential. Maybe for a few months I can take off of one thing and whatnot, but I'm still figuring it out. It's something new. I'm trying to understand how
I think it's awesome
Yeah.
the fact that he's got a legit job. Money must be good, or hopefully is good.
I'm still in training.
And you can it will be good. And you get to do what you love to do. A lot of people have to sacrifice one or the other. You're trying to make both happen. That's even harder than someone trying to take one path. So that's awesome.
What are you gonna do when you're practicing medicine and then one of your fans comes in? Maria Ganaiga, then suddenly, well, how does that gonna go? Is it, you got to keep it professional when you're a doctor. You can't mix both.
No, you can't. Especially in psych, it's very gets very personal with patients. So you gotta maintain those boundaries. Especially, I'll be working with teenagers because I'm specializing in teenagers, substance abuse, suicide, homicide, whatnot, psychosis, bipolar. So you need clear boundaries in that.
Absolutely.
So maybe if eventually somebody is gonna find out, but I know how I'm gonna address it.
Yeah.
You can't deny it, but just maintain the boundaries.
Yeah.
Just keep it professional, right?
That's crazy. That's like a long list of things.
Yeah. So you're obviously got a full schedule. On a daily basis, because studying for medicine is not easy by any means, and then trying to follow your passion, your career. So it's obvious that you're super busy. You make time for everything. Let's go back to New York, because a lot of your time was spent in New York. You went to St. John's University.
Correct. Wow, how do you know?
Yeah.
Thoda research kar leta, But so St. John's University, you spent a lot of time, and you were a captain for a Bhangra team out there.
Yep. There's our tradition.
From what I hear, you used to sing a lot of shares. How did that work out and that influence you trying to getting into singing? Was that your passage to singing, or did you plan that, or did it kind of naturally come?
I think it wasn't planned. We were just enjoying Bhangra at the time. Because I happened to sing somewhat at that point. It just worked out. Okay, tu bhi sher ga de, na? And that's how it started out. And I think this Bhangra scene in North America at that time was one outlet where all the desis all across US, Canada could come together, whether singing, totally, whatever. Because if you technically look at it, most of the North American Punjabi singers were in Bhangra scene like
100%.
back 5 to 7 years ago. So it was just one of those outlets where all the creative people who had something they were aspiring towards came together.
Who's Amli?
Amli is how you know about him?
Amli, I just heard of him, man. You gotta tell us who Amli is.
Amli is one of our boys who's initially started out with the team, and he also sang shares with us as well. So we used to switch spots because he enjoyed folk singing as well. So yeah, one of the founding team members with Among Us. Yeah.
So you were the captain of that team. I saw a quick a video as well where you guys did a little bit of a skit. You guys were playing around and you guys had your team together. You run over and you're kind of on the phone and they start doing a crazy dance in the background. That's awesome. So it looked like you were having a lot of fun back then. And
I mean, you were back in time. Yeah.
Still, but that's, you know what? Those are the things that make you who you are, right? That's where you come up from. And I mean, tell me about spending time at St. John's University and your friend circle around then, and how that influenced who you've become today.
I think it helped me in terms of appreciating criticism, because once you're in Bhangra, everybody has to tell you, okay, you're not doing this right. And just having that ability to appreciate criticism and negate, okay, what I really need to understand and what's just bullshit criticism. Yeah. So in terms of music, it helps me understand, okay, I really need to like sit down and this guy is saying something that I need to understand, or it's just something like whatever. Yeah. So I was able to appreciate that. Other than that, I met amazing people. One of them ended up being my manager now, Turbine in the house, and G Money is
That's
right
some big
there.
words, amazing people.
Yeah.
Been there. Amazing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, most of them are now. G Money, he also used to do Bhangra with us, and he's also now helping me out with my career, and he's launching his own career. Amazing. So we're all connected still, because I think everybody in Bhangra scene are creatively, they're looking for something, and indirectly it blossoms down the years. Yeah.
And that's awesome that you can kind of keep your team together still from where you started, and you don't have to separate and find new people to help you with your career.
I have a question with the way you learned, so you started singing for Bhangra teams. When did you start taking it seriously and actually learning? Mm-hmm. When was that? When did that happen?
I started with the Baja back in school in India. So I was just randomly selected this Ustad. At that time, he had it just doing saw, whoever he felt like had some potential, he grabbed those guys, and eventually that's where I learned the basics of Baja Bajana, Master Harinder Singh. And came to US, totally forgot about it, Bhangra, med school. And then it just started coming back, but because I told my dad, once I'm done with my medicine, I'm handing you the degree, and I'm piecing out and doing singing. And he was like, yeah, okay, sure. He was like, okay, no doubt, because he knew that's never gonna happen once he gets into it. Kind of, he was right. So once I came back from all the med school, which 2-3 years of my life was just studying in a corner with books. I think it just went by. When I came back, and it just started kind of hitting me, okay, I need to do it, because I think I wouldn't have been at peace. Like I would be still like, man, I really wanted to do that. Yeah. So let me just get started somehow. It's a long journey, I know. The artists I listen to, they have had long journey, especially Jazzy B, who I have looked up to, is the artist I have looked up since beginning, being in North America. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely, yeah.
And
longevity in his career, everything,
He's the one who I followed, like with each album, what he did, how many years it took. So I wasn't here for overnight thing or anything, so I knew how many years. So I just wanted to get started, just learn the basics, make some mistakes, and just grow in terms of long-term process.
You didn't carry the funky style that Jazzy has, though, with you?
Nah, I'll get some shit for that if I did.
Did you ever think it was going to get as big as it has gotten? Like as fast? Like, you said you did the whole medicine thing, and then you're like, okay, now let's give this a shot now, because I've always wanted to do it. Did you think, it'd be holy shit, G.SIDHU flying around the world to go perform? And did you think it'd ever get to that point? Like that fast, that quick, with like 2-3 songs? I think it was like, not like 2-3 songs, but like 5-6 songs?
That fast, no. To that point, yes, because I wasn't going to give up because I was just going to keep on going, which I did since 2014 when I released my first track, which was, again, learning process till date. With Pelli Tape, that's when the track started hitting. And the reason we started with Pelli Tape was because I felt like lyrically I was in a different place, and I wanted to restart my career, because I knew what I learned from my mistakes in the past, I just wanted to correct them and start with that. And that's, I think, the songs in Pelli Tape, that's when it kind of, each one of gradually started progressing.
Well, we were just discussing this earlier. Lyrically, you're just on another level, and it's not something that we're used to hearing or that's in the norm. Where does that inspiration come from? Where did you learn that writing style, or what's the inspiration there?
I think it evolved over time. Initially, it was my lyrical style. Initially, was based on what I used to hear in '90s. It was more metaphorical, not like now. It's more direct. It has to just like, okay, this is what it is, and that's what it is. You don't have to put your mind. So initially, my lyrics were, I think, I felt it was too easy because being in Punjab, I was used to wonder like, man, I hope I could write it at that level. But when songs like Gabru Anthem happened, I used to get feedback, man, those lyrics are too tight. I was like, really? Like, I thought it's too simple. And then it eventually started hitting me, okay, I think I need to maybe simplify the lyrics. And then I started basically on my night shift when I would have time during on-call nights, I'll like, okay, let me open up whatever the songs that are bumping at the time. I'll write them down and just, because I've kind of learned like, I can't just listen and I just like see it on paper, like, okay, this is how it works. This is what words, these are how it was. So eventually it started making some sense why this particular line is connecting with people. Yo, yo, honey, Senga. Like, why?
Why does it connect?
Senga, like a little emphasis that they started connecting with people. That started, I think, becoming
It's something about night shift, man. I swear this podcast was created on a night shift. I was working a night shift and I was like, we got to do this. But you know, if you need inspiration, go work a night shift and you might just find something.
Definitely.
But that's dope. So you were just picking up, you were actually studying other people's music and kind of seeing what worked, what didn't work, and then found your own lane. Yeah. So Jalva was a track that you recorded out in India, right?
No, I recorded in my basement. I did the video in India.
Okay. Yeah. So how did that work? Like, did somebody fly you out there for it, and did it just work better to do it in India?
No, I was. It was just. I had started the process. I had no idea, how to get started with this thing. Going to India, who to trust? Because my main instinct was, I was told, don't trust anybody. They just rip you off. So Jalva, I recorded over the basement. I sent it to V Groove because he did another Tharmic track at that time. Sikhi G.SIDHU Shan. It had like dubstep feel. I didn't want the traditional like Tharmic song, so I just wanted something like urban as well. So I think he did good with that. When I went to India, there's my guy from my pend. And he was also into music, and his recent song blew up. His name is Perry Sarpanch.
Yeah, holy shit, he's from your pen?
Yeah.
When I was in India, his track Shikar fucking everywhere. I DJ'd and like I was getting death threats. Do Shikar la de, huni la de. Oh shit. It's coming. That guy is sick.
Yeah, and if you look back at his older songs, that they were dope too.
Nukri te Fukri.
Yeah, exactly. So he's from my pen. I went there and met him the first time, so we found out our grandfathers were brothers, so we were like basically distant family members.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so he was the one who connected me with this video director. Like, I know this guy, trust him, Tiga. So he guided. It was like he gave me his hand. I was like, okay, Jamaican, and it eventually ended up working out pretty well. So he was the guiding hand for that in terms of video process. Yeah.
Where in India was this?
This was in Pent near Chandigarh. I think most of the Punjabi videos are shot like a kheta. There's this like a house, something like this,
like
and they tear it down, they repaint it, and an ugly video only, and then they take it down, repaint it to pink or something.
That's crazy.
I think chunni penda, something like that.
Panch Satyar
over there. Okay, I remember Patake Porno vi utthe see the same art.
That was the
timetable too. Everything.
That was shot there.
Yeah, we just exposed everybody's music video, the same spot.
Same spot.
The Honey saying the London video, that car, that was still there when I went there. I think other videos were.
So after that, you had Tere Bina, which was recorded, I believe, in New York.
Yep.
And that was with Toronto's native Sick Kick, which was known as Lomatic, right?
Yeah.
How did that correlation come?
Off the record, I don't think we can say that.
Well, it is what it is. I was a fan of Lomatic, and
I think everybody knows by now.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So how did you connect with him, and who put that together?
I just hit him up online. I think I can't remember which track of his. A bunch of tracks I heard. I was like, oh, this is pretty nice. I was into urban music a lot, and like the whole Punjabi scene was getting more away from Bhangra and into urban at that time. This is 2014ish. So I just emailed him, and it kind of worked out. I liked his style, and it's just all over internet.
Nice.
That track was only audio, and JJ made the sickest mix ever to that track.
That's a big statement, but yo,
no, you did.
Sick Kick's crazy, man.
And I also performed on it on your remix once, and because Pinder told me like, yo, you have to, because he was like, you have to check this out.
Can we listen to? Do you want to listen to the remix, or can we listen to the original? What do you guys want to hear?
Yeah, let's listen to Tere Bina. It's my favorite track.
Yeah,
let's do it.
तेरे बिना बचदी ना वे सोनिया तेरे बिना बचदी ना वे सोनिया वे मैं तेरे बिना बचदी ना वे सोनिया तेरे बिना बचदी ना वे सोनिया छेती आ जा गाली नाल ला जा ਦੁਨੀਆ 'ਚ ਹੀ ਸਜਦੀਆਂ ਵੇ ਸੋਹਣਿਆ ਕਦੇ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਜਾਣ ਤੋਂ ਪਿਆਰਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਅੱਜ ਤੇਰੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਮਰਦੀ ਫਿਰਾਂ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਲਾ ਲਵਾਂ ਦੱਸਾਂ ਸੱਚ ਮੁੱਢੀ ਤੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਲਾ ਦੂਗੀ ਸਿਰਾ ਤੇਰੀ ਬਸ ਤੇਰੀਆਂ ਮੋੜੀ ਗੱਲ ਮੇਰੀ ਨਾ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਤੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਜੱਚਦੀ ਆਂ ਵੇ ਸੋਹਣਿਆ ਤੇਰੀ ਬਸ ਤੇਰੀਆਂ ਮੋੜੀ ਗੱਲ ਮੇਰੀ ਨਾ ਵੇ ਮੈਂ ਤੇਰੇ ਬਿਨਾ ਬਚਦੀ ਨਾ ਵੇ ਸੋਹਣਿਆ ਵੇ ਮੈਂ ਤੇਰੇ ਬਿਨਾ ਬਚਦੀ ਨਾ ਵੇ ਸੋਹਣਿਆ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਮਰਵਾਉਂਗੀ ਨਾਲ ਖੜੂ ਤੇਰੇ ਜੇ ਪਈਆਂ ਪਰ ਪਾਉਣੀਆਂ ਵੇ ਕੱਚੇ ਘੜੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਤਰ ਆਉਂਗੀ ਹੌਸਲਾ ਰੱਖ ਲੈ ਸੌਂਹਾਂ ਚੱਕ ਲੈ ਬੋਲੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਤੋਂ ਹਟਦੀ ਨਾ ਵੇ ਸੋਹਣਿਆ ਹੌਸਲਾ ਰੱਖ ਲੈ ਸੌਂਹਾਂ ਚੱਕ ਲੈ ਵੇ ਮੈਂ ਤੇਰੇ ਬਿਨਾ ਬਚਦੀ ਨਾ ਵੇ ਸੋਹਣਿਆ ਮੈਂ ਤੇਰੇ ਬਿਨਾ ਬਚਦੀ ਨਾ ਵੇ ਸੋਹਣਿਆ
All right, amazing track that had been out. So this track I heard was shot in upstate New York while it was freezing cold. Is this true?
Balle.
That was where?
Balle. That was also by Sikkim.
Okay, so that was shot up there. What was that story about? Because I heard it was so cold outside.
Yeah.
You guys had to kind of go run back and forth to tell me the story about that.
Yeah, all right, sure. So this was one of the, I think, amazing learning experience in terms of video, because what you think in your head and how it get portrayed in the video, that's how I think it was a good thing. It was a mistake in terms of the things that went wrong and how it could have been different.
Yeah.
And looking back at it, I will get into the details. I think what we took away from that was like, till date, I think that was one of the projects that helped us understand. Like this was what we had in mind was this EDM forest party, and then we didn't even know what the lightings were. We we had like one of those LEDs, and we're like, "Wait, EDM party ban jani?" And we expected the lights to pop out of nowhere. I don't know. Then you understand production, like, oh, 100%. Damn, man. So yeah, it was, and everything kind of went wrong with that. We wanted to have 100 people at least in the video, and it was shot in upstate where we could get that space, and we ended up having the biggest New York storm. And I don't know if you guys been to New York. There's this bridge, Keda bridge is Whitestone Bridge, which connects the city to upstate. So the bridge got shut down, so most of the people couldn't come across. So I think 20 people showed up, couldn't make it before the deadline. I think there was one last one, like, yo, we were the last ones before they closed it. So
how 20 is a lot. How many were you expecting?
100, I think, at least.
What?
I remember watching that video. I was like, yo, what's going on in this?
Why 20 people dancing? So being in the medical profession, and I was like, shit, I could only get so many days off. This is one of them. Like, something's gotta happen. We're like, okay, let's do it. And another learning moment: don't wing it. If it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be, because it showed. So a lot of things went against us. It was like 0 degrees, and we were kind of jumping around, dancing without jackets. We had to be. We got so many heaters and everything. It was just mess.
So there's 20 people there. 18 were guys, 2 were girls.
So that's a fun fact you left out.
That's a typical party.
That's a desi ratio. That's a desi ratio.
That's a pretty good ratio.
And we actually try to show 3 girls, because the actual model, we showed her back, so it's not the same girl.
Yeah. So we got a couple of girls out of here.
You got creative.
It's like Jyoti's Patalo video.
Yeah, exact same thing. We were hoping for a
video
guys
was
and girls
amazing,
even ratio, and it was all guys that showed up.
That video was amazing.
We had to get the
Don't
makeup
even
girl
compare
in
it.
there.
That video was amazing. Don't compare. That was great.
Thank you, man. Shout outs to Cineverse.
Cineverse.
Yeah, absolutely. Moving on to Mundri. That was a track that I think really put you on the map. When you put that track out and then you start getting this attention, your phone starts ringing off the hook, your social media is going up. How's that feeling? And describe, if you can go back to that, how that felt and what you were experiencing.
So with Mundri, it was like I was mentioning earlier, like lyrically, I felt I was in a different place. And it started with this beat, which the music on Mundri was actually for a different song. There was a song I was trying to work with an India producer, and I wasn't getting the right sound because I preferred some kind of updated touch to the sound. But I gave it to Urban King, who at that time Pinder had just met him in New York.
How old was he then?
I think 15. I don't know.
God damn.
Who is this for everybody who doesn't know?
He's the guy who made Candlelight.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, and he was 15 when he made Mundri.
16, yeah, I think 15 or 16. I don't.
Wow.
He's 17 now. So.
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
What's that kid gonna do
I'm
when he's 20?
I'm gonna stop producing. I'm done with this shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
And sorry, what was his name?
Urban King.
Urban King. And he's based out of New York? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So yeah, so I really like the music. It was very simple and reggae, nothing too complicated. For some reason, it was something I played like 100 times. I still didn't get bored of the music. So I just started thinking of it, and I was like, artist struggle. Like, sorry, show kitna milna mainu. I'm like, gotta target the weddings, Then I was like, what's the missing plug? If I'm not gonna travel to India anytime soon in terms of doing wedding shows. I would rather do concerts.
Yep.
But in North America, if I want to fund my career, because everything is coming out of pocket with the videos, music, it's like I could only put out maybe one song a year because of so much cost that goes into it. So now we had to think in terms of, since we are starting independently, we got to put on a business ad as well, like what we do. So engagement, I don't think it happened as much in India. Now it started happening. So we're like, okay, there's no engagement song like that. There's Ek Hunda Siga, Mundari Badai Fere. Now like this, you gotta have something which just describes exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
Wali Mundari, and there's like no way that a DJ could avoid playing it. So I'm like, okay, let's do it.
I mean,
It
even
makes
the
sense.
Mundri Banai Fere, normally when I DJ engagements, I don't play it for the engagement itself.
Sometimes guys will enter to it, but this song, I feel
This
like
is a song like I have every like engagement. They're like, you need it.
play, like at the moment when the ring is going on, like that's the song.
They request to play it, or you guys just naturally do it as DJs?
Both. Like a lot of people started requesting it, and then now it's like if anybody asks what should we play for engagement, now we just recommend it. It just the name is in the title, so like it's pretty straightforward to play.
I mean, in your aspect of things, of just creatively thinking about how to find a lane for yourself, like most people think, okay, I just want a hit song, let me just make a hit song, but you actually targeted a certain market and said, let me do something where they can't avoid me, they have to play my song.
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool way to kind of force your way into the industry, right?
And I don't think I ever think I'm gonna make a hit song, because I think that's when you start complicating things, to overthink and just lose the touch. So that's never. If I am satisfied, my team is satisfied, then we're like, okay, let's do it. I never, any of my songs, like, okay, this is the hit song, this is gonna be big. No,
but you got to take a look at the fact that there's artists that focus on North America, and these artists are, like not even North America, outside India. I'm gonna say, you got your, Mickey's, Prophecies. I would even put Fateh in the same bracket. Pap Dadias, all these guys, they focus on the greater Punjab, not Punjab itself. They focus on everyone else. So, but they have that R&B flair or whatever it is. Then you have your every other Desi artist who is outside of India who focuses on Punjab. So for you to take, I want to do Bhangra music that's from Punjab but focus on, the North American market, that's hard to do because it's so enticing to want to make a song for Punjab because it's going to blow up there if it does it. So the fact that you did it in North America and you stuck with it in North America and had that vision for North America, that's hard to do. I think that's hard to do.
And it also comes back to his lyrics, how he's saying keeping it simple. Like, we don't understand these metaphors. We need to understand, it's like, okay, you're putting the ring on the girl. We understand that.
Also, I'm sure if you search Mundri or whatever, there's probably going to be a bunch of Mundri songs out there.
100%.
But when it comes to what people are connecting with overall as a product, that's another thing you also have to, and it's continuously, right? Like, I'm sure KSR and JJ, you guys are all DJs, you know how much at that time of point in a person's life, an engagement, that song connects with them. and I think that's something that's really.
I mean, he brings up a good point because I screwed up. I was supposed to do it. I was gonna put a candlelight on the table too, man. You know, it just like every time I see a candlelight now, I think of G.SIDHU. I mean, you just put that in his head. But I mean, he's absolutely correct. Is what you guys did was target something, but then you made it so it stuck, and that's not easy to do. We can talk about it all day, but go ahead and try to do it. It's not an easy task to do, right? So kudos to you for making that happen and pushing your own career forward, which is, I think, a big reason why everybody loves and respects you so much is because you've done it on your own. Well, I mean, obviously you have a team behind you, which people don't see, but you didn't need the big industry. You didn't need
no. People
the big
do
labels.
see this guy, and you know what I liked? I think it was like a month ago. You put up like a proper post for Binder, like a proper post.
I seen that.
When I saw that, I was happy. Like I got really happy for this guy. I'm gonna
My
keep
man
wanting to see
JJ.
it. I got happy for him because I'm like, hey, at least the guy's getting respect for what he's done. And a lot of people, including myself, like I know he does stuff for you, but I don't know what he does. I know he's a booking manager. I know he takes care of whatever. But the fact that connection was put out for everyone to see, that's big.
Well, definitely I had to, because anything
forced you
that
to?
goes... No, he didn't. This time he didn't. Anything that goes right, the credit goes to me. If things go wrong, like, oh shit, what's his manager doing?
You get it.
So it's like, to me...
Before anything, we're always brothers. You know what I'm saying? We're boys, we're brothers. So that kind of plays a role into how we think of other, of just future, right? And I feel like we have such a great connection just on the norm of talking about normal conversations that it just continues with our passion for music.
Nice. It's so funny, our reaction when he talks on the mic. Everybody's looking around.
Because I'm like, no one here is speaking.
For me, I gotta turn all the way around. Sorry, bro, I'm not looking at you. I can hear you, but I'm not gonna turn around.
Moving back to Candlelight, so that is the song that put you on in my opinion, an international level. That was a song that went right across the board. I know Kamo has something to speak on this in terms of, because he travels probably the most out of all of us. How did you see that song resonate throughout all the countries?
Slowly, it started building in North America, and then other DJs, like our friends Kudos, they were like, "Oh, what song is that?" A lot of people started asking what song is that when we were snapping it, because before I know our crew was jamming to it, and then that's the thing with us DJs. If we like a song, we're gonna play it and we're gonna make people like it. And then slowly it just started spreading and spreading. I was in India in January with like a promoter in Delhi, and he was talking about, he's like, who is this guy? Where is he from? And they know the song. They they just haven't connected it with you, right? So but it's crazy how it's getting there, and you've done it all by yourself, not with any of these big time labels. And the fact that it got there, it's insane.
What's the reason behind that? Have you been approached by big time labels?
At this point, yeah, but back then I approached them, but things didn't go as expected. So it was a lot of trial and error and disappointments, and that was the reason. With Pelite, we were like, okay, you know what? Let's just do it on our own, because we looked at, I mean, everything, whatever the US does in terms of music eventually follows in terms of globally. So like, if Chance the Rapper could come out as independent, like,
But the fact that the fact that you even know who Chance the Rapper is. Let's talk to any other Disney artist and ask who Chance the Rapper is.
That brings it to like New York. So New York is the mecca of hip hop as well. Is that a big influence on your career? Did you listen to a lot of hip hop music? Do you listen to a lot of hip hop?
Yeah, of course. It's not my primary. My primary is Bhangra. Punjabi, not Bhangra, but like Punjabi overall. Like,
I should have worn my Nori and Capone shirt. I'm gonna wear that one day. But so you guys are from Queens. You guys spend a lot of time in Queens as well.
Now I'm in Long Island, but I'm in Michigan now. Yeah, Queens, Long Island.
Queens still gets the money. You guys are making it.
So definitely a big impact of New York scene back then. Growing up, obviously you hear it all there, so definitely it reflects now too.
Have you wore Timberlands in a music video yet?
No, actually, I used to have them in high school, but I threw them away because I didn't know they were gonna come back.
No, don't worry, man. Whatever you need, that guy right there, shot by Dolo, he'll get you whatever you need.
All right, I'll be there.
That's awesome. G.SIDHU, let's talk about you. and throwing mics off stage. What's going on, man? Is that a new thing that you're starting to start a trend? What happened there?
Man, no. So many people, they thought I like did it on purpose. So it was candlelight siga. So it was like it was live band. They built it up, and I got into it. I was like, so I let my hands off, and I didn't realize I had it in my hand. And if you look at the video, I'm like, oh shit.
Did it hit anybody?
No, I saw the kudos guy sitting right in front. It was like one of those moments, you know, like when you're about to die, shit slows down. So it's like I see people like roar. No, it didn't hit anybody. It eventually got passed upon.
Which kudos guys was it? These guys are good
Pagdala
friends.
munda jehda hega ho.
Oh, Harv.
Yeah, Harv.
DJ Harv.
DJ Harv.
Shout out. He's gonna listen to it. He's gonna hear
Pagdala
this.
te dooja vi ho lambaya. He was with
Chonks.
you. Yeah, Chonks.
Yeah.
Chonks. Oh.
Shout out to Chong.
Okay.
Did you say
No, I said chunky.
I got another one for you. I don't know if you can discuss it or not, but basically, I hear that you're a big jokester. You always like to have fun. You know kind of play around with your friends and stuff. I heard you played kind of a cruel prank on your sister where you told her that she won the lottery and she actually did it.
we got the inside scoop?
My brother.
We got insider.
Oh damn!
Is this true?
Yeah, I know you don't know that.
Yeah, this is not your average podcast.
This guy does his research.
Yeah.
Man, that's some next level research. Okay, yeah. I'm usually a serious guy, boring person. You know, just have fun. But yeah, this was we just had a new computer back in high school when I started, and we used to get these new pop-ups. You will want and she used to click and sign up to every single thing. So I'm like, how do I put a stop to this? So I just created this email like New York Lottery at Hotmail or AOL.com.
AOL.
Yeah, so I sent her, you want this and this, I don't know, $1 million, and yeah, it went on for a week. But I broke her heart, man.
Oh, man. It's kind of like that Fresh Prince episode when they do it to
Hillary.
No. What's the butler's name again?
Oh,
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Remember what they do it to him?
Yeah.
He's like, I quit.
Okay, G.SIDHU, after Candlelight, you have a big decision to make now. So you're on. You know that it's on and popping. You're making. I mean, the whole world listen to you. Now, how do you decide? Because I'm sure you had a lot of tracks made and ready to release. How do you decide to go with Satsurikal, and how did you and JJ connect on that?
So I think Candlelight wasn't just overnight. It was like
it
first North
that took a
America.
good year, man.
Yeah,
I would say
it was
6
like in
months to a
July
year.
last year, and still it's reaching now. It was US, then Canada, the UK, and then India, Punjab, Delhi, like Punjabi market. And by the time I think we did Satsurikal, it was still like on the. So it wasn't what it is like.
Even
what
after
people,
we did Satsurikal,
yeah.
that's when I saw, I think it was like a month after or maybe shortly after, randomly I saw Jesse Gill post it.
Yeah.
When I saw Jesse Gill post it, I was like, what the hell?
Just to get it straight, what did you do on Satsurikal? Because I'm sure Urban King produced that.
Yeah.
But JJ
And who's Jesse Gill? I don't know who that is.
Jesse Gill?
JJ
Yeah, no
recorded
idea.
the vocals.
I swear I don't know.
You shouldn't be doing that.
Don't worry, when his episode comes, they'll research.
But like
Yeah.
you guys connected on it for
Satsurikal.
So Satsurikal, I think we spoke and we were like, hey, mixing, mastering, we should get it done, blah, blah. Showed me the track. And then I'm a strong believer that this guy's a strong vocalist.
amazing
Thank you,
vocals,
thank you.
amazing.
Thank you.
And then I heard it, and the vocals were awesome, but the recording wasn't that good.
Yeah.
And
It was
I'm
in
a
my
stickler
room.
for recording. And for Candlelight, I still think
We talked about it could be
have been
mixed better.
a lot better.
Yeah,
Really?
And I feel
I
like,
agree.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
And,
saying a
uh,
lot considering that's a huge track and I love
But
it.
that's
Track
a
is
prime
good.
example.
I'm going to say that a few
of-
times that I really love
But
that
that's a
track.
prime
Thank you.
example of a song being as good as it is and doesn't require anything else.
Amazing,
It could have just came out of the box. It would
It's like Sid the Moose's like lifestyle. It's like
Yeah.
just like fucking
That's a-
leaked version,
yeah.
but playing at
Yeah,
every
yeah.
party.
Tory's judge.
Yeah, same shit.
So then when we connected on that, that's when I was like, if you don't mind, and if you're free, why don't we work on recording the vocals down here? I'm like, I'll even rent a studio. We'll
Yeah.
try to figure it out. I called up a couple of links that we have, and we made a studio happen. And this guy came, banged out the vocal in what, an hour?
I don't know, something
Max.
maybe.
That's talent. You guys just banged one out before you came here.
Yeah, we just banged out a vocal in half an hour. But yeah, we did that vocal, and then he heard the final product. He's like, wow,
Yeah.
like that makes a big difference.
J.SIDHU Pangra songs, every song now, that's it, final.
The magic of JJ.
How was that experience from you? Because you had obviously recorded the first time. Did you feel the same way, or you thought it was okay? Like,
No, I definitely saw the difference after he sent me the piece. Because prior to that, all my songs were recorded in my closet. I had no foams, nothing. It was just my clothing doing the sound compressor, whatever it is. It's a homemade studio. So he was the first one to pick up on it. Like, yo, this show. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, okay, let me just go there and see what he's about. And then, yeah, once he sent me, and not just me, like everybody who heard it, like, yo, the vocal sounds crisp. So I was like, okay, yeah. Galabaat hai yeah.
That's what G.SIDHU does.
I might know a little bit.
Yo.
So is that, I mean, after Satsri Kal happened, another huge hit, is that what kind of led you guys to work with Credit Card?
Oh, yeah, what? I don't even
with
know
Credit Card, I think.
Didn't we do that while you were?
No. It happened. I think he expressed a few months later, like, yo, I think I'm exploring further into production. I knew he did lots of behind the scenes work.
Yeah.
So I already knew the hits he produced.
So you already know I always call him out because he does so much work that he never takes credit for.
Yeah, of course. So yeah. So he's like, I'm interested, and I was here for in this past January. What is
we were in India when
April.
You guys did it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was just everything happened so fast.
All you guys were in India together?
No.
Oh, okay.
So me and Kambo were in India,
Yeah.
and then JJ sent us a voice note one day. He's like, yo, me and G.SIDHU just made a track. We're like, sick, send it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like, send it right away.
He came to the studio and he's like, I got 2 songs.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know which one to do. And he showed me the first one, and it was like
hold on. It was so. He said he's thinking about production, and let me know if you have something. So I'm like, yo, my album I know what songs are going into it. So maybe after that, we'll think about something. So I'm just visiting him. I had so everything happened so fast with this track. This started in January, April, and it's already out, video's done. Yeah. So yeah, I came down. I was here for a private event, and I just visited him, say what's up. And he's like, so what's up? Anything in mind? I'm like, yeah, 2 gaane hai gaya. I showed him 2. He's like, yeah. His studio like child. I'm like, now? He's like, yeah. I had like this one until chorus, like Zindagi Ek Kawari, and I wrote that the night before. Wow. Because I was just brainstorming. I had a credit card stuck in my hand, but I was like, I just got the chorus.
Wait, did you have a big balance you had to pay off, or was it just
Sidhu was partying the night before?
Or that happens with him. If you ever go out with him, don't even look at your credit card statement the next day.
All right, man. Okay. I don't know when to shut it down.
Should we talk about the song?
Yeah. So yeah, I laid down the first part. Then I told him, why don't you make what do you want to do with it? So I went from his studio. I reached my friend's place to get ready for this event, and now I have like this sample already. I'm like, what, already? Like 10 minutes down on him. So Mississauga to Brampton, like my friend's place, I'm changing it to get ready for the event. I already have something. I'm like, damn.
Wow.
I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me try finishing up the song, write the remaining verses, figure out the composition. The following week, I was like, you know what? Because I think his schedule is so unpredictable. I'm going to India, then he's like, I'm going to Europe. Then it's like, I'm like, you know, Jadon tak tu haga, let me just get here and wrap it up. Then like, okay, I'll come down next week. I wrote down the verses. Thankfully, it came up. I didn't have any writer's block or anything, so it just flowed naturally. I came down following week. That's done. The following week, I'm shooting another video, Red Rose in Michigan. I'm like, yo, since you're going to India or Europe, just come down, do your part, and then we'll do that. So it's like 3 weeks back to, and then the following weekend we're in the UK. So it's like 4 weekends back to back.
4 weekends in a row we were together.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Can I ask you this? Is Conjuice Mucky Juice a real juice? Or if not, I'm going to make it. Because that's my
Mucky Juice.
Oh, I thought it was Conjuice Mucky Juice.
I thought you were saying it as a joke the whole time. Like,
I love that line. Ask Kadola. We always talk about it. I'm like, I'm going to make this juice, man. It's Conjuice Mucky Juice. I'm like,
Mucky. No. I don't even know how to explain it.
Yo, this guy speaks
the best Punjabi.
I think for the last 3 days I've been telling you, this guy speaks such good Punjabi. But on the dumbest words, he fucks up.
I don't think he understands.
I have like tutti frutti.
You don't understand it all either, right?
I understand it all, yeah.
Like when
no, you don't.
It's pretty bad when
it's a saying.
You didn't understand Conjuice Mucky Juice.
Yeah. But yeah, listen, I'll tell you a story about his sister's wedding, and this shows how much he likes candlelight. We're choosing songs for entrances, so him and his wife.
I heard about that.
And he's like, I want to come up to candlelight. I'm like, no, you don't. The lyrics are not. You want to walk out with your wife. But, dude. He's like, oh shit, okay, no, choose something else.
You know what, man? I just got an ear for
the
music. I love it, and the lyrics. We'll get to that, man. That's why we got guys like Jyoti, my cousin Raminder. He's sitting right behind Dolo. He's the one who actually breaks down songs for me. I'm like, yo, this song's dope. I love it. I want to hear it. He's like, do you even know what they're saying? I'm like, I kind of think I know what they're saying, but it's not easy to follow Punjabi music. And I think that was a big reason that we started doing something like this, is to kind of break things like that down, because these guys in the industry, they listen to music, they're playing it, they hear it a million times. People like me who drive in their car, they listen to it, or at home or whatnot. Yeah, we don't get it all the time. We don't know where it's coming from and all that. So to break it down or hear it from you or somebody explain it is always dope, because then you kind of build a relationship with the song and you get it more. Like, but you ruined Conjuice Monkey Juice for me. Because you guys
can still market that. But yo, you can still market the
got
juice.
all the copyrights.
We can make the juice, or we'll go in on a partnership.
No, I don't think anybody wants to be drinking Conjuice Monkey Juice. Drinking be ultra cheap.
Can we hear Credit Card?
Let's do it. Can we get an acapella of Credit Card or an intro leading into Credit Card?
Oh, that'd be dope.
That's, I don't even have the vocal there.
You have the vocal.
Oh, you mean? Oh, I see.
You
I see
have
what
the
you mean.
vocal.
You are the
vocal.
I got it. I got
And
it.
since JJ produced it, let's get JJ to beatbox.
ਕ੍ਰੈਡਿਟ ਕਾਰਡ ਤੂੰ ਹਵਾਲੇ ਕਰੀ ਦੇ ਕੰਜੂਸ ਮੱਖੀ ਚੂਸ ਨਾ ਤੂੰ ਬਣਿਆ ਕਰੀ ਖੁੱਲਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਦਿਲ ਹੁਣ ਪਊ ਕਰੀ ਨਾ ਨਿੱਕੇ ਮੋਟੇ ਖਰਚੇ ਤੇ ਲੜਿਆ ਕਰੀ ਐਨੀ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਕੁੜੀ ਤੇਰੇ ਝੋਲੀ ਪਾਈ ਰੱਬ ਨੇ ਜੋ ਬੀਤੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਬਸ ਮੈਂ ਜਾਣਾ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਜਿਉਣੀ ਸੋਹਣਿਆ ਇਹ ਪੈਸਾ ਤੇਰਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਬਸ ਰਹਿ ਜਾਣਾ
Oh shit.
Make some noise. Everybody in the room make some noise. Oh, Lee, let's hear that song.
Bring out the mucky juice.
ਕ੍ਰੈਡਿਟ ਕਾਰਡ ਤੂੰ ਹਵਾਲੇ ਕਰੀ ਦੇ ਕੰਜੂਸ ਮੱਖੀ ਚੂਸ ਨਾ ਤੂੰ ਬਣਿਆ ਕਰੀ ਖੁੱਲਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਦਿਲ ਹੁਣ ਪਊ ਕਰੀ ਨਾ ਨਿੱਕੇ ਮੋਟੇ ਖਰਚੇ ਤੇ ਲੜਿਆ ਕਰੀ ਇੰਨੀ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਕੁੜੀ ਤੇਰੇ ਝੋਲੀ ਪਾਈ ਰੱਬ ਨੇ ਜੋ ਬੀਤੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਬਸ ਮੈਂ ਜਾਣਾ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਜਿਉਣੀ ਸੋਹਣਿਆ ਇਹ ਪੈਸਾ ਤੇਰਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਬਸ ਰਹਿ ਜਾਣਾ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਜਿਉਣੀ ਸੋਹਣਿਆ ਇਹ ਪੈਸਾ ਤੇਰਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਬਸ ਰਹਿ ਜਾਣਾ ਸ਼ੌਕ ਵੀ ਤਾਂ ਪੂਰੇ ਕਰੀ ਨੇ ਇੰਨਾ ਕੈਸ਼ ਦੱਸ ਤੂੰ ਕੀ ਕਰਨਾ ਵੱਡੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਵੀ ਤਾਂ ਖੁੰਡੇ ਹੀ ਫੜੀ ਨੇ ਬਸ ਇੱਕ ਦੋ ਬੁਗਾਟੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਦੇ 94 ਚੁੱਪ ਚਾਪ ਕਰਕੇ ਬਹਿ ਜਾਣਾ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਜਿਉਣੀ ਸੋਹਣਿਆ ਇਹ ਪੈਸਾ ਤੇਰਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਬਸ ਰਹਿ ਜਾਣਾ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਜਿਉਣੀ ਸੋਹਣਿਆ
All right, huge track, Credit Card by G.SIDHU, produced and mixed, mastered by G.SIDHU.
Yep.
So you guys, DJ Dice shot the video?
Dice.
Director Dice.
Director Dice.
Right. Okay. So what's the story behind that? How did you get in touch with Dice? You guys are both in the same state now, Michigan as well?
Yeah.
How did that work out?
So I moved from New York to Michigan for a residency. I randomly bump into another singer at gym, KV Singh. And through KV Singh, I started meeting up with other people in Michigan. And I ended up being in this small Michigan, most random state in the United States, that there are so many other people linked with music in here.
Yo, it's like one of the most popping states, right?
Michigan, really?
Mickey Sin,
He
KV,
was there.
this guy, they got Akal's coming up now.
there.
Nice.
Ice, DJ Ice, Director Ice, DJ. So yeah, that's through that I've known them for a while. DJ Dice at that time. Now but he's multitasking.
Yeah.
So he has always expressed interest with video direction. So it just ended up being we were planning Red Rose first, but it ended up being Sat Sri Akal. So Red Rose was planned beforehand with him. So we ended up doing Sat Sri Akal first. So it was just like, yo, you want to do it? Like, yeah. Well, you sure? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, let's do it.
you had to ask if he's sure, right?
Of course, yeah. With him, yeah.
And then Credit Card, obviously that's a no-brainer. You guys already worked together on Sat Sri Akal, so you guys just made that happen, and the video turned out great. We were actually in California together. Me, Jay Static, a couple of us, Jyoti. We were shooting Jyoti's video out there, and Dolo was shot by Dolo was shooting it. And the excitement that I felt personally seeing when the song released, because Jay Static, for him, obviously a big track to release as well. And we were there, and we kind of went through that experience. Amazing experience for me, standing on the outside to watch what was going on. How was it for you when that song released? And same question to you, JJ.
You go first.
For me?
Yeah.
For me, it's different. For me, I had a connection with the song because I actually know this guy. So it's a different story when you, because you work with, like, you work on, I don't know how many songs. And however many songs you work on, sometimes there's no connection with the artist. With him, I mean, I've seen you at, Dice's wedding. I've seen you at places. I've seen you at a whole bunch of places. You know what I mean? Like, you see each other everywhere.
Yeah.
So when we started working on the song, it was already a connection, already a friendship. When the song gets released, it's like kind of relief in a way and excitement because you feel good about the song that got released. For him, I feel like there's stress 24/7. So when the
that's
song
the
gets
music
released,
producer story.
Yeah.
With me, it's like,
Repost.
oh yeah. So definitely, like you said, it was definitely personal. And fortunately, so far, most of my projects with Pelly Tape have been personal. With Urban King, you, Rashi, it's all North America.
So it's not just strictly business. You actually build a relationship with other people.
Rashi, she's amazing piano player and music production. I met her through Bhangra competition. She was one of our liaison in a Bhangra competition in Washington, D.C. Wow. So that's how far we go back. And then eventually she like, hey, let's do something. So yeah, so with him again, with Satsrika, we just connected. I think with the first time, I didn't get any shady vibes. He didn't get any shady vibes from me, and I think that's it. And same thing with the entire crew. You guys are doing great things over here. Now DJ M as well. Big shout out, Bad Jetty.
That's what the gentleman you named.
Look at him blush right now. He's like,
yeah, he said he liked my track. I was like, I'm happy as shit. It makes me happy.
So yeah,
I love his music. Like I'm a huge fan. Like
no, you did great.
He dropped his phone from how excited he is that you just said that.
Getting all nervous.
So you're saying basically when you release a song, it's more the nerves. You feel the nerves because obviously that's your face, that's your sound, everything is being put out there for people to judge. And with social media, that's not an easy task because you probably face criticism, you face the praise, you got to see it all. So how does it make you feel when somebody maybe might post something like, "Oh, I hate this song"? Like, do you take it as constructive criticism? Does it bother you? How does that feel?
No, I think everybody's entitled to their opinion, It doesn't... If 99 out of 100 people are saying they hate their song, then I'll think about it like, damn, what did I do?
What did I
just
do? Jay Static, it's all his fault.
You just weigh out, if some people do have good criticism in there, then you do take it. If it's just like, just cursing out, then it's like...
And you actually run your own social media. All your stuff is you.
I got a question on your social media. So I've been told by outsiders. So this is, I don't think we've ever talked about this. This is not on the menu. This is not nothing. Menu or whatever. Itinerary.
Where's the food at, bro?
Right. Program.
Somebody get some food for
I've been told, I've been told by other people that the amount that you repost, the amount of songs that, people send you videos probably 4,000 times a day. And you repost every single person.
Yep.
So now, I was just looking at your page one day. I can't remember what it was. It was like 2,000 posts and like 14,000 followers or 15,000, whatever you're at, I don't know. And that's amazing that I feel from my standpoint, like I see you post it and I'm happy that you do it because you don't give a shit about the norm of, keep your ratios right, keep this right, make sure you only have 100 posts, make sure you have this many followers and blah, blah, blah. He's like, I don't give a shit.
No.
They send it to me, I'm posting it.
Yeah.
So have people told you, hey, maybe you post too much or maybe you do this much?
Oh, yeah.
And what's your take on it? What do you do?
It's mainly my friends, and I understand. I'm flooding their Instagram. They want to see other things. For me, it's more like, this is the moment I've been waiting for, Look, give me a video page, and now somebody's taking our time, and they sing a song, and they're sending it to me, put in that much effort. Hell yeah, I'm gonna post it.
Yeah.
Shout
out to that, man. Everybody makes some noise for that, man. That's real. That's real.
How long does it take you to go through all your videos like every day?
I don't know, a lot of time. So till date, I've been doing it because I'm still enjoying the process. Like, okay, but I think soon I'm gonna have them handle that stuff.
I hear candlelight at least 10 times a day.
Check. So
at least
going back to the video posting, I feel like this is a great trend that we're setting for other artists as well, to just realize that we have this social media impact that other artists in our American industries that are using, and it's just that, you know, a lot of other, they see it back, you know, these labels and stuff try to use it the way they want to use it, and we kind of felt that this way was best to show that his fans are spending their time. You know, that's a lot. Like, you know, I remember when I was a kid growing up, we were kids, you know, we spent time, you know, downloading these tracks, doing this, doing that, you know, making our CD list, writing the names on them, you know.
On the CD, writing every
track. And I guess
track,
this is something like this for the next generation, right?
What's a CD?
Right, exactly. But it's great. It's working well.
But it shows you have real followers too, you know,
sure.
like there's
And it
people.
shows a fan appreciation, man. Like the
I
fact
mean-
that there's so many fans out there who, like, no, sorry, there's so many artists out there who don't appreciate their fans. They say they do, but they don't do it. You're on the complete opposite side of things, where you're like, I appreciate every single mother effing fan that puts out a video.
I feel like you're like the Dizzy Macklemore, because Macklemore was like the one person that came out. He was completely independent, topped on the Billboard charts. Like we were in
Supposedly.
India. No, he topped on the Billboard
No,
charts.
no, that completely independent.
Oh, he was, man. What do you mean? He was completely
still backed
independent.
by
Whatever. He was, whatever it is, you just completely fucked the whole point up.
I'm just saying.
Right? But
Let's
What I'm
compare him
saying
to
is-
at least a Nas
what
or
I'm
somebody
saying
from
is,
New
no,
York, man.
dude,
Come on.
Macklemore won a Grammy, was on top of the Billboard charts, completely independent. And like, I see it, you guys had your whole music channel, you guys are posting your own shit. And we were in India. And when we were in India, every fucking day, I was snapping him or Instagramming him, like, yo, your song's playing. Your song's playing.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
I lived that
Everywhere.
India experience through your guys' Snapchat. Man.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit,
I
it
just
is
wanna
playing,
add
man.
to that too. I remember we were walking in Sector 17, and there was some random restaurant that was blasting your song, and it was, you could hear it all over Sector 17. But just going back to the whole, like, you have your own music channel, and I was just checking up on views before coming here today. Like, you guys are just over 800,000 for credit card, and you're over 7 million views for Candlelight. So congratulations on that.
Yeah.
But those
Thank
are
you. Not a
Some
lot, but
noise
thank
for
you.
that, everybody.
7 million
Let's
real
go.
views.
Come on, everybody
Now,
here's
7
gotta make
million
some
real
noise for that.
views.
That's independent
Real
artists.
views.
Nobody else.
And it wasn't too
And
long
that's
ago
on
that
your
you hit the
own
million
channel.
mark, right?
So what I was gonna get to is I know we had this discussion on one of our previous episodes, but like 7 million is a lot, and those are real views. And your song is big; it's one of the biggest songs of the year. But then again, compared to all these songs that are doing fake views,
allegedly,
the number's not
allegedly.
up there, right? But your song is big. So how do you feel? Like, is there something that you want to say to artists that are buying fake views? How do you feel about that whole trend that's been going on with fake views?
I mean, you know, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਖੁਸ਼ਾ ਕਰੀ ਜਾਵੇ, at the end of the day, ਜੋ ਹੈਗਾ ਸੋ ਹੈਗਾ, you know.
And sometimes it's not based on the artist. I'm going to put it out there because you never know. Once you're with a label, that label will be like, if I'm gonna invest in this song, I need something to come back to my channel.
That's a very good point, because when we did release with the label, it would be like day 1, 2, 3, like boom, 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 and then like just stuck at the viewpoint, like, oh, what the hell happened? So because they got
you did that.
and it's like very confusing. So I don't think it's always up to, but if somebody is doing it, you know, if they gotta satisfy their ego with those numbers,
Fake it till you
Yeah.
make it. Right?
So,
No.
but to me, our goal was, if we are going somewhere, we gotta pull an audience. That's it. It doesn't matter what the numbers are, what's not.
That 7 million's 100 million for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yo, that's
should-
350 million.
we should cut a cake. We should cut a cake.
Yeah, I'm
We
glad.
did.
I'm glad JJ brought that up, and you know, a lot of people talk about that Pav Daria episode, obviously, and you know, it's no diss to any artist. Obviously, it may not be in his control or anybody's control what the labels are doing with it. If you sign to a label, you're obliged by contract and all that.
And
So
honestly,
they got to push the track. So we can't diss any artist and say that he's doing fake views. You know, it could be just behind the scenes. He made the song. You know, he gave it to the label, and they do what they want to do with it. So let's not hate on the artist and be like, oh, he's doing fake views or he's not. But let's appreciate the people who are putting in the hard work, putting it out there, and legitimately just allowing the fans to really take in the music.
And I
see
think
where it
Candlelight
goes.
was a prime example of a song that blew up on the level that it did and had the views that it did.
Absolutely.
There hasn't, like I said, Macklemore. There wasn't a track that blew up to that level that was independent.
Relax, Macklemore, right?
Thrift shop
Like,
and
no.
Candlelight.
No,
were
no,
like, bang,
G.SIDHU,
bang.
we discussed, you brought it up actually a couple times, Pedli Tape. What's the reason that didn't actually release? Or did it actually release?
No, so the whole concept was, it was
No,
No, not kidding.
no. the whole concept was behind that is that we understood that we didn't have a bigger audience in terms of where we wanted to be, and we knew how the singles were working. There was no point if I put out an album all at once and it's just gonna last barely 2 weeks, and if there's no audience at that moment, then why put so much time, effort, money, videos, everything in it. So our plan was, why don't we treat every single track and the album as a single. So as a single, by me, a single has to be a banger. While in an album, you could display some songs in terms of creative aspect where it doesn't have to be like one of those banger songs.
Fillers.
Yeah, something that displays something your inner self, but it's not going to connect with everybody, every single person, which we couldn't do with this. So we were like, every single song has to be a single, at least in terms of our efforts. So that's how it started in terms of every song we're going to release. It's going to build new audience, and it's going to reflect back to the tracks we did in the past.
And this is early when you started to do this.
It's just last year, 2017. The first track was Mundri.
Yeah.
So I saw that you already had all the titles.
Yeah.
Well, eventually, I mean, you put it. But do you have these songs ready, or do you have anything done, or is it just ideas right now, or like?
No. Now it's all done. Okay. 2 more left. One we just did the vocals before coming here, so that's done, and then there's another one, and that's about it, and then the album's done.
Yeah, like even he was saying, he's like, when we did Credit Card, it was supposed to be something that was going to come out afterwards.
Yeah.
But then he liked it,
yeah.
so he's just kind of like, rejig this and shove it in here.
You got to give G.SIDHU credit, because I mean, throughout the podcast, I've noticed too a lot of stuff. It's kind of like I want to call you a visionary in a sense, because you see a lot of these things before they happen, and you've actually made a game plan of where you're going. It's not just really winging it and just see what happens. You guys have a plan in place and you guys execute on it, which is good to see.
It's that, and not completely, and also being open with each track. Everything didn't go plan as like, okay, after Mundri was Candlelight next. We don't know, but once we got the sample, like, oh, that's
Actually,
next.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Finish off. I was going to sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was going to Mundri Candlelight, you used the same model, no? Was it like a sequel, prequel kind of thing?
Yeah. No.
Question was right.
I did. It was.
Question was right, timing was wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. So they were, it just kind of connected with like, oh, it does make sense in terms of the girl got engaged, and now the guy doesn't give a shit. So now the girl is kind of bitching about it. And that's how Sat Sri Akal came about. Like, okay, now you're bitching, now let me tell you my story.
Yeah.
And there's a little Candlelight reference in the song too. So basically with each track, we kept our lanes open. Like, we didn't want to plan too much ahead, and we wanted to evaluate each song, how it did, and what lane do we need to shift toward. So that's so it was. So in terms of just locking down album and done, and this album gonna release over next 2 years, it wasn't like that. It was just like Credit Card was the last song added on the album, but it's released, so there are 2 more to go.
And this is a decision you make with your whole team. You make this on your own. Yeah, everybody as a collective comes together, and you guys decide how you're gonna do it.
Lots of stupid ideas, and like, yo,
we're not letting that one happen. Okay, can we think? No, we won't even mention any of those ones. Let's talk about something that just happened recently. You had, I think it's called Turbine Day in New York, right?
Yeah.
So that was, you guys had some stars out there. You guys had Dr. Zeus. Yourself was performing. KV was also out there. What's that all about, and how did that start?
It's Sings of New York. Monty is live. Junpy, these guys organize. Yeah, shout out to them. Very hardworking team. These guys put out event every year, Turbine Day. So this year they wanted to make it set a new Guinness Book record in terms of time most pagga in so-and-so hours, and they beat the record, and they got the certificate.
There was a record for that? Wait, what?
Oh yeah, bro. Gora came out with like, this is the most turbines in some 8 hours, and you guys. But that was not even the true number, because lots of people pagga ban ke chale gaye, so it was just kind of half the number, but they still beat the record. So they also wanted.
So they had the Guinness guy actually there, the whole thing.
That's crazy.
That's dope. And then performing on stage, how was that in your own city? That's got to be a good feeling,
Times Square, come on,
right? Like how about
never ever
like,
Punjabi guy on Times Square.
Wow,
that's a homecoming.
No.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like,
yeah.
is that was that ever like a vision that you saw? Okay, this is my city. I would love to perform in Times Square. Do you even think that's possible?
No, I don't think I ever imagined to perform in Times Square, but yeah, that was shout out to that committee, Monty's Life, for organizing
Yeah.
in New York City and doing it proper. So doing this events in Times Square.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Toronto, we got to step it up and do something like that as well.
have
man.
Desi
Something
Fest.
Yeah, we have
big.
Desi Fest.
See,
We have it,
power,
but,
bro.
But Times
not at
Square's
that
got-
level.
Yeah, but Times Square's got that.
the legendary
Legendary
status.
status.
We have Dundas Square.
which does not have any legendary status whatsoever.
It'll get there once G.SIDHU performs.
They
it might
see a
just get
CN Tower,
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
the window thing.
G.SIDHU, if we were to pull out your playlist today, what do you listen to these days?
I don't know, man. So many different tracks.
Yeah.
I just heard the Cardi B album.
Yeah, shout out New York. Yeah. How do you take that?
The Weekend album.
Uh-huh.
Weekend was depressing, nice and depressing.
As
Cardi
usual.
B was nice too. I'm just looking for new lyrical flows and ideas. Basically, that's not my primary go-to thing. But yeah, I gotta explore my brain, like what the topics are, because most of my songs, I've at least been trying to build up in terms of characters, something that everybody can relate to. Like there's a character, how this character feels, does that justify? If the girl is a candlelight kind of getting upset about this guy, what are the things this guy is doing and why it's getting her upset? Like, "Tu kalla kalla kyun selfie khechna? Why don't you bring me in too?"
Yeah.
So things that people experience on a daily basis. So I try to make a story out of a song as much I can, while putting it together with catchy words and lyrics. So I just try to get different ideas from these things.
That's dope. I just came to mind right now, but I was like, this
I
is
wasn't
kind of.
expecting that, by the way.
Oh, for that answer,
Yeah,
no?
I was
Cardi B.
expecting Cardi B and Weeknd. I was like, okay, he's got Jordan something or
I
something.
still have to check out Macklemore because I relate with him the most because the topics he chooses is so like close to like humanity and the grandma video and
Humanity.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So that's something I
Why
have.
is that funny?
I have to analyze it in terms of lyrically because for some reason I hear Angrezi Gana, it just doesn't. I can't just because the way they pronounce things, when they get creative, it kind of.
Yeah.
So I have to pull out iTunes, I'll pull out the lyrics, and then I'm like, okay, all right. So I got to do that with each album. So that's next.
The fact that you just brought that up, that Uchiya Gala, is, I was going to say, it almost feels like this was the year of the Sidhu. Like Sidhu Musewala, yourself.
Last year was the year of the Sidhu.
Sidhu's,
No, even this
17.
year, man. Both Sidhus have been on top on both aspects. Banka Sidhu, same thing. Is there any correlation between all four of you guys that you guys know each other, came up, or
No, I don't think any of us know.
no? Nobody,
no,
yeah.
no.
eh?
Yeah, it's
Well,
a pretty common last name.
It is, but the fact that all of them are really popping.
That's
at
such
the
a white
same
person
time,
question.
Right?
Thought.
Yeah.
Is
Hey,
it?
are you guys
Is that-
related?
No, I mean, how many? Okay, whatever.
Are you guys
are
brothers?
But no correlation. Nobody knows anybody.
Shout out
whatever.
to them, and they
Yeah.
killed it. Yeah.
What about
Absolutely
Bulkar
amazing.
Sidhu?
No.
Oh, now who's asking the white people questions? eh?
I'm being
Also-
sarcastic.
Also, Gorge Sidhu in UK, he's killing it too. Gorge.
Gorge.
Oh yeah.
Hey.
Nice.
There's
And
backyard.
Gorge.
what can we expect from G.SIDHU coming up this summer? Big summer coming up 2018. What do you have in store for us?
Got 2 pending tracks from Pelly Tape. And next one, both of them are pretty different from what I did so far. One is we got switch it up, make some shit gangster,
Gangsta shit. Gangsta shit.
And then we have another collaboration which we haven't talked about, but we'll spill the beans in UK with Chaos Productions.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Not the average punk rock, not a dance track, but very different, but very creative at the same time. Which he's best at.
You couldn't have chosen a better producer.
Yeah,
Straight
I know,
up.
yeah.
Chaos is.
Yeah, he killed
He's
that
another
Chaos is true school.
semi behind the scenes guy who is.
School. He's like
Yeah,
he's like
yeah.
true
Very,
school.
very
He's like
important.
true school. He's like same sound, similar shit.
track. Yeah.
Same group of friends.
Is that track when you listen to it, it's so refreshing, and it's not a dance floor track, but it just sums up the
Feels
album.
good, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. So after that, then I'm gonna explore a trap scene a little bit, but also keep it with Bhangra as well. Not forget that.
You see
So just try to
you see
explore.
Jay
He's got
standing
me-
nodding his head.
I
eh?
am
He's like,
so happy right now.
How busy are you this summer with bookings? Like, how's
Oh,
that?
man. It's not complaining. Fortunately, everything's going great. We're busy every weekend. We're just
Awesome.
trying to squeeze in when to shoot the next video. Now those are the kind of battles we're struggling with, which is good.
yeah.
So
it's a good
yeah.
problem.
Oh
to
yeah,
have,
yeah. It's a
right?
good
Yeah.
problem to have.
Do you enjoy performing live?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, especially if the audience is great too. Sometimes you gotta work extra hard to pump them up.
Bro, you should
sorry,
have seen
go
this guy in London for that. What Bhangra show was it?
Bhangra
Showdown?
Showdown?
Was it Showdown?
Oh yeah,
I know.
yeah. UK, yeah. I'm thinking London, Ontario.
Like he was just doing warm up, like not warm up, sorry,
Rehearsal.
And me and Deep walked in, and we're just like, the runway for this thing is miles to fucking. It takes you like 10 minutes to get to the stage. So we're walking. Soon you're getting closer and closer. You all hear is his voice. I'm like, Sidhu. We're walking closer and closer. I'm like, yo, that guy sounds exactly like he does on a fucking tape.
Yo,
He's
I was
so
gonna
sick.
say that. Yeah, when you sang the
Thank
song
you.
here, it's exactly like somebody just pressed play, and it's insane that.
So we just had that conversation in the studio. I'm like, I'm nitpicking a 1% thing that you might want to redo. I'm like, the amount of people that we've worked with, where we just press record. I'm like, yeah, good, great. Okay, cool, let's fix it, let's make it happen. And this guy can legitimately sing, and how he sounds when he records to how he sounds when he's just sitting there singing is the exact same.
So for you, as somebody who's producing or mixing and mastering, how does that work for you? Just super
The
easy?
least amount of work possible. Like literally, it's just like, all right, it's done.
No, it's just being generous. No, thank you. You guys feel that way, but man, there are lots of other amazing singers.
100%.
Yeah.
But
But yeah.
In
You gotta
North
give credit where it's
America, you're like one of the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
just says
we
you gotta
hope
book
that
this guy.
it keeps pushing forward. And I mean, somebody that's so humble as yourself, and if you can't see it through this interview, I don't know what you're looking at, but somebody is super humble, and you praise others more than you do yourself. It's amazing to see, and we wish you much more success.
Thank you, man.
Definitely.
Thank you.
I think it's about that time right now.
think
We know you're a great singer, but we got to hear how your ear is now. I know you've seen the episode, so you know Punjabi
DJ M
Shazam.
always wins this anyway.
I lost yesterday.
He just lost yesterday. Yeah, he lost.
Oh,
But we have a belt in the house today as well. Is there anything anybody wants to ask or clear up before we get to Punjabi Shazam?
Anybody in the audience want to say anything?
Can we get
Bigger?
him to sing one more song?
Can we give shout out to my boy Randy Huntra, who's here as well? He always listens to the podcast. Randy.
There it is. Do we have a song?
So, like we talked about who you've been listening to now. What about like an old school song that you grew up listening to, or a singer that you listen to?
Jazzy B.
Sing something to.
Jazzy B.
Jazzy
That's
B,
it.
okay.
Every single
Can we hear some
album.
jazzy, your favorite jazzy track before we go into the game?
Yeah, my favorite album. Man, all of them.
You know I'm
actually.
about to send
But your
this to
favorite
you.
song. But your favorite song.
favorite.
We gotta stop this.
Straight to Jazzy?
I was gonna send it to Jazzy.
Sick.
And that's G.SIDHU,
Hold
who
on.
has Jazzy B on Snapchat. I'm gonna put it on my story, and maybe
He'll look at it.
maybe it might just come up in his feed or something.
We gotta come on in the video.
Get in there, Em.
I gotta make my video.
All right.
It says followers, right?
You guys all ready? We got like 20 phones on. Let's go.
ਹੁਣੇ ਯਾਰ ਦੀ ਨਿਸ਼ਾਨੀ ਖੁੱਲੀ ਗਲੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਗਾਨੀ ਯਾਰ ਦੀ ਨਿਸ਼ਾਨੀ ਖੁੱਲੀ ਗਲੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਗਾਨੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਨੱਚੀ ਤੂੰ ਗਿੱਧੇ 'ਚ ਹਿੱਕ ਤਣ ਕੇ ਨੀ ਮੋਤੀ ਖਿਲਰ ਗਏ ਚੁਗਲਾ ਕਬੂਤਰ ਬਣ ਕੇ ਮੋਤੀ ਖਿਲਰ ਗਏ
Make some fucking
Make some noise for that. Let's go. Put your phones down for a second. I gotta have everybody in here make some noise for that. Let's go. Holy, amazing. You know what? That's a voice you could sit and listen to all day long. You don't get tired of that at all. Amazing stuff that you're doing, G.SIDHU. Please keep it up. Please bring more of these songs out so we can enjoy them. And we want to see you get right. You're already at the top. We want to see you keep going, man. There's no ceiling to this. Let's get into the game.
Please
Are we
don't
ready?
stop.
Yeah.
All right, we're back with Punjabi Shazam. Again, if you don't know what the game's about, you got to go back and watch the episodes. We're tired of
We have
telling
about
everybody
10,
what
12
it's
episodes right now. You need to figure out what it is.
We're on season 2.
So,
We have a belt now.
G.SIDHU, you know the podcast,
Oh, yeah,
so you
yeah,
know
yeah,
the
I'm
game.
down, I'm good.
DJ M was the reigning champs. DJ Dips just took the belt from him
Yesterday.
and KSR just brought the belt to make sure. So Sidhu might just walk away with it today. We got DJ Simon Says on the ones and twos. He's gonna play a snippet of the track, and we're gonna see who wins. It's Simon Says. Let's hear that first track.
Let's go first track.
Imran Khan, hey girl.
Who got it?
Wow, he got it.
He got it. All right,
I
G.SIDHU
didn't know that.
1-0.
I didn't know
Ah,
that.
peace out.
DJ Simon Says track number 2. Come on here, Coconut.
Ajapa beat Manmohan Worth.
I had that.
Shit.
I had that.
Who got it? Who got
I
it?
heard his voice over everybody's.
I had that.
M got it? All right. We'll give that one to M. All right, DJ M's got one. G.SIDHU's got one. Let's go,
Okay,
DJ.
yo,
the table.
It's 1-1.
1-1. Simon Says third track.
It's a new track.
That's a hard one.
High end video call.
No,
Video call, Diljit.
Okay.
Video call.
KSR came to play.
Oh, you did it?
We got ones across the board. G.SIDHU, DJ
JJ's like, let me get
KSR,
into
and
it.
DJ M. Simon, what was
Video
the track?
call by Diljit.
Video call by Diljit.
Video call by Diljit. All right, Simon says, let's hear the fourth track.
That's the next one.
Susu.
High
Rated Brew.
Yeah, High Rated Brew. Oh, I knew that. I was about to say it. Wow, this guy really loves wrestling. He wants to take the belt home. All right, we got KSR with 2, 1-1 with G.SIDHU.
Hold on, is this the last one?
This is the last one.
Oh.
So unless one of you guys get this, he's
guy's-
taking the belt home.
This guy's taking the mic off of the stand. Just FYI.
Do we do
Sit down,
five?
sit down.
One of you guys
Sit
get
down,
it.
because you're not
All
on
right,
the camera.
DJ Simon says 5th track. Let's go.
हसड़ा मारदा जज़्बी.
Oh,
I'm out.
DJ M is out. Tiebreaker.
Tiebreaker
KSR,
between
G.SIDHU.
G.SIDHU and
Is it only between us two?
KSR. Yeah, it's only you two.
Oh,
Winner
man.
takes all off of this track right here. Simon says, do you have one queued up? Let's go.
Damn.
That's a hard
I
one.
don't know. I got
Do
no
we,
idea.
Yo,
we
don't
need
tell
to
me.
hear it again? We need to hear it
Hold
again.
on.
I'll sing it back if you guys want.
Yeah.
I know what this is.
Oh,
DJ Dr. Bigger, yeah.
DJ KSR, JJ Bigger
Man.
Game by who?
Dr. Z.
Dr. Zeus. He takes the belt. I wanted G.SIDHU to win. I'm not gonna lie.
Fuck that, yo. It's my belt.
I just lost 2 games in a row. I'm fucking dookie, bro.
Yo, everybody give a round of applause. A great game, great episode. G.SIDHU, thank you so much for taking the time out to come and spend this time with us to talk, to let everybody know what you're really about. We really appreciate it. We definitely need to have you back. We're listening for all your new music that's coming out. We're good, man. That's it. Peace out. Cheers
Thank you,
to
man.
cheers
Thank
to
you
the
for having
episode.
me.
Cheers.
Shazam champion.
And G.SIDHU, anything you need to say on the way out?
No, thank you for having me, guys, and always showing love and support
How
through
was
every
it?
single
How was it?
podcast you guys
Candlelight.
mentioned. Oh, Candlelight.
Oh,
All right,
Okay.
there's way too much.
We had
We have to do one last.
Yeah, we had
Okay,
one. We had a final request for Candlelight, so
Alright.
we're gonna exit with that.
By
Let's
the way,
get
this
that.
is the most like
Sober?
asked for vocals
ever. Yeah.
ਕੈਂਡੇ ਲਾਈਟ ਨਿਰਾ ਦੇ ਵਾਦੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਸੁਣੇ ਸੁਣੇ ਚੰਨਾ ਤੇਰੇ ਲਾਰੇ ਮਰ ਗਏ ਹਾ ਕਿਰੌਣੀ ਲਹੀ ਬੜੇ ਪਾਣੀ ਭਰੇ ਤੂੰ ਨਾ ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ ਸਾਡੇ ਨੇੜੇ ਤੇੜੇ ਖੜੇ ਤੂੰ ਵੇ ਮੈਂ ਝੂਠ ਨਾ ਹਾਈ ਸੈਂਦੀ ਸੱਜਣਾ ਵੇ ਤੂੰ ਸਿੱਧਾ ਸਿੱਧਾ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਨਿਬੜਿਆ ਕਰ ਜੇ ਮੈਂ ਪਿਆਰ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਰਹਿੰਦੀ ਸੱਜਣਾ ਨਾ ਤੂੰ ਵਿਗੜਿਆ ਕਰੀ ਨਾ ਤੂੰ ਵਿਗੜਿਆ ਕਰੀ
Make some noise, everybody! Make some noise. Huge. Thank you so much, G.SIDHU, and we are out. Episode 3. Peace out.
Michigan.
Okay.